Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and today we're going to be going over my Magic Dragonite build for the Necrom chapter. Before we get started, if you're not subscribed to the channel, you know the drill by now, please do so. It would really mean the world to me. We just passed 6,000 subscribers, so thank you to everybody who's subscribed so far to the channel. That is an absolutely massive number, and I really can't stress how much I appreciate that. All 6,000 of you, thank you so much. I mean, there is absolutely no words. I owe you guys so much. Thank you guys. But to everybody who's not subscribed, if you want to get in on this, I would highly appreciate that. But guys, without further ado, let's just get on with the build. So we are going to be a Breton on our Dragonite. I like Breton the most for our MagDK because it's going to give us reduced cost on all of our magic abilities, and it's also going to give us a lot of magic recovery as well. So I think Breton overall is really good for your overall sustain. Our attributes are going to be 37 points into magic and 27 points into health to give us a max magic pool of 23k, a max health pool of 32k, and a max stamina pool of 16.5k. We're going to be using the warrior as our Mundus because you can always get your weapon damage higher than your spell damage on DK, so you always want to build into weapon damage. So this is going to build that and get it as high as possible. We're also going to be a vampire, so vampire stage 3 is the way to go 100% to increase your overall tankiness the lower health you are. And then also Jewels of Mizrael is going to be our food. That's going to increase our stamina magic recovery by 315. It's also going to increase our max health by 3,465. Moving on to our gear, our monster set, as always on DK, is going to be Bloodspawn. We're going to be using heavy Bloodspawn helmet in Reinforced and a light Bloodspawn shoulder in Impen. The Bloodspawn is going to give us stem recovery. Then when you take damage, you're going to have a 6% chance to generate 13 ultimate and increase your physical and spell resistance by 3,700 for 5 seconds. So that's great for your overall tankiness, and your sustain on DK is built a lot around your ult gen. So this is going to really help that a lot for your overall sustain. Also moving on, we're going to be using Daedric Trickery as our back bar set. So this is going to give us max health, max stam, max magic, and then when you're going to deal damage, you're going to gain 1 of 5 random major buffs for 21 seconds, and that could be either major expedition, so you're going to be fast, major protection, so you're going to be tanky, major mending or vitality, so you're going to get your healing increased a lot, and then major heroism, so that's going to increase your ult gen a lot. So I like this a lot for your overall sustain. It's going to help your ult gen a lot. It's going to help your healing. It's going to help your tankiness. I just really like this overall as a set. I think that there's a reason why this set's been really meta for DK for a long time. It's just really good. For our hands, we're going to be using medium bracers of the trainee in Impen. We've got 1 extra slot in this build, so this is going to increase our max health as much as possible. And then our front bar set is going to be Draugr. So we're going to be using a light Draugr sash in Impen. This is going to give us max magic, offensive pen, magic recovery, then increase your damage jump by 330, but on the catch, it's going to reduce your healing taken by 10%. So that's where we're only going to front bar it and not put it on our overall body. That way, when we're on our back bar, that 10% reduction is not a thing. So that's only when we're on our front bar. So it really doesn't affect our healing on our back bar at all. And the healing is a little rough sometimes when you're going. Well, actually, no, it's really not that bad. I kind of like it a lot. The amount of damage that this does is insane, and I just really like this overall. It's just, in my opinion, one of the best sources of overall sustained damage. I like it a lot. And then Draugr feet is going to be what we're going to be wearing as well, and then it's going to be in the Divine's trait. Then our last piece of the gear is going to be Greaves of the Daedric Trickery in the heavyweight with the Reinforced trait on it. That way we increase our overall resistances. Our jewelry is going to be Draugr. We're going to be using a Bloodthirsty necklace with a reduced health, magic, and stamp cost on it. Also, our Mythic, for the most part, so you can run this either one of 2 ways. So Mythic, when you're in group, is going to be Mark and Ring of the Majesty, but I've been using Pale Order a lot when I'm solo, and let me tell you, the healing on this build, when you're solo, Pale Order, trust me, trust me, trust me. If you have this, please use this. So this is going to be mostly our solo build, so use this. And then, so this is going to restore 20% of the damage that you deal back to you as health. And then it's going to be decrease the value whenever you're in a group. So that's why you want to use it solo. But guys, I gotta say, this is definitely the way to go when you're solo. You can go offensive and still get a lot of heals back. That way you're just going offensive even more. And I really like this a lot. So it's going to be Bloodthirsty with another prismatic reduced cost on it as well. And then our ring is going to be Ring of Danger Trickery in the Bloodthirsty trait with a prismatic reduced cost on it as well. Our front bar weapons are going to be Draugr maces. Our main hand is going to be Nirnhone with a shock damage enchantment on it. And our offhand is going to be Sharpened with a disease enchantment on it. I know what a lot of you guys are thinking already. Maces on the DK, yeah, it just helps your overall damage when you're not in corrosive. And I'm not in corrosive a lot because I've been trying something new on this build. I'll explain in a little bit. But I really like the way this is. If you look at this on our front bar, we're just sitting at 9.9k pen. So our damage right now is insane when we're not in corrosive. So it just gets even higher when we're in corrosive. But overall, I think that it really helps your damage overall. And then back bar, we're going to be using Ice Staff of Danger Trickery and the Defending trait as well, with increased weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. And then our skills on our front bar is going to be Molten Whip. This is going to be your main spammable after you get your 3 stacks of Seething Fury. You're going to really want to make sure that you're doing this because every time that you get that stack, it's going to increase your overall damage of your next Molten Whip by 20%. So you can get an extra 60% on that just by having 3 stacks. So that's going to increase your overall damage a lot. I definitely recommend using this morph. We're also going to be using Shattering Rocks as our main CC. This is going to also give you a nice heal too, so make sure you're also alternating this in the fight a lot. It's a nice combo of CCing them, that way it drains a lot of their stam as well. So, you know, hit them with the Burning Talon skill, which is going to be another one of the skills. This is going to be what's going to keep your enemies in place. So it doesn't hard CC them, it just immobilizes them. And then a lot of the enemies, they end up roll dodging, and right after they roll dodge out of Burning Talons, hit him with that Shattering Rocks, that drains so much of their stam in the fight, and you're just in control for the rest of the time. Also on our front bar is going to be Flames of Oblivion. This is going to be your source of Major Prophecy and Savagery, so that's going to increase your weapon and spell crit by 2,600. And on top of that, it's also a nice little bit of damage to combo with all your other abilities, and it's also going to be one of your Seething Fury stacks that you can proc with Molten Whip. So make sure you're always activating that to get your Molten Whip stacks up. It's just a nice little bit of extra sustained damage. And then Noxious Breath is going to be our last skill on our front bar. You're going to use this for a lot of different reasons. 1, it's going to be another stack of Seething Fury for your Molten Whip. 2, it's a nice little spammable as well to use because it hits pretty hard and it goes through roll dodge and all that stuff, so it's really nice. And on top of that, enemies are going to be afflicted with Major Breach, so it's going to reduce their physical and spell resistance by 6k as well. So, you know, definitely make sure that you have this on your enemies at all times. So the new thing that I've been trying lately has been Shifting Standard, and I was a little, you know, curious at first as to how this was going to go, but I gotta say, after trying this in little small scale fights, I gotta say this has been so much fun. I think I'm gonna drop Leap for a while whenever I'm making new builds, and I'm just gonna use Standard. This has been so crazy fun to use. Those small scale fights where there's in the back of a tower or whatever with those close quarter ranges or in a little cubby and a keep, using Standard in there, you're doing insane amounts of damage every second, and it's a 29-second duration, so you're getting a lot of ult gen by the time you're done with this as well. So there have been times where I literally have been able to pop Corrosive when I'm still having my Standard go out because it's just, we've got that much ult gen on this build, and this is such a long ultimate. I really like this. And on top of that, between all of your dots and then the damage on this as well, your Pale Order is healing you a lot too. Then moving on to our back bar, we're going to be using Igneous Weapons. This is going to be our source of Major Brutality and Sorcery, so it's going to increase our weapon and spell damage, by 20% for 1.2 minutes. I just like this morph a lot. I've basically used the same exact back bar on all my DK builds for the last like year straight. So Igneous Weapons is going to be a nice little source of Major Brutality and Sorcery, and it's going to be a long duration too, so you don't really need to worry about recasting it every few seconds as well. Also, Race Against Time, I just like this for your Major Expedition, your Minor Force, so it's going to increase your movement speed by 30%, it's going to increase your critical damage by 10%, and then also activating this is going to remove all snares and immobilizations for you, and it's also going to grant you immunity to them for 4 seconds, so it's your nice snare removal as well, so it makes sure that you're not slow in a fight too. And then Resolving Vigor, this is going to be your main 5-second heal over time, so this is going to be a nice way to get your health back up. It's going to be your best heal on this build for your overall sustained healing in a long fight. But If you need a burst heal, you're going to move on to Coag. This is going to be what's going to get you right back up to full health, basically. It's very expensive, so don't spam it. But that being said, when you're in trouble and you're taking too much damage, hit this and you're going right back up to full health. Between this and then Resolving Vigor, you're healing a lot. I like it. Also, Volatile Armor. This is going to be your source of major resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 6k for 20 seconds. And on top of that, it puts a little bit of a dot on your enemies. It is not a strong dot whatsoever, but that being said, it is a dot, so it does help your overall pale order healing. I know it's not much, but hey, I'll take anything I can get for damage and healing. And then Corrosive. What's there to be said about Corrosive? It is the strongest ultimate in the game. You're going to be doing 897 poison damage to your enemies for 12 seconds, which isn't much, but what's really important is the limiting your incoming damage to 3% of your max health, so it makes you super tanky. And then on top of that, you're also going to be ignoring your enemy's physical and spell resistance for direct damage. So that is massive for your overall damage. You're hitting them like... Oh my god, I didn't want to say it. I was about to say you're going to hit them like a truck, but that's normal me. Oh no, you're going to just be hitting them really hard. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Anyways, let's move on. Use Corrosive for your back bar. It's awesome. Moving on to our champion points. Our blue slottables are going to be Mastered Arms, Ironclad, Wrathful Strikes, and Focus Mending. Our red slottables are going to be Pain's Refuge, Survival Instincts, Sustained by Suffering, and Celerity. And our green tree, the only things that we really care about are Breakfall, Rationer, and Liquid Efficiency. And that is the entire build, guys. I really hope that you guys enjoy. This has been a really fun build to use this patch. I was kind of struggling with a lot of the Arcanist builds and a lot of the other builds, but this one just felt natural to me, and this one just felt really strong off the rip, and I just really like this one. I can definitely vouch for this. If you're going to pick one build that I've released so far, I definitely recommend to do this one. It has been a lot of fun. But guys, that's it from me. I just got a few more announcements before I end the video and move on to the footage. Guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I know I say this all the time, please do so. It's free, and at this point, I would just appreciate the hell out of it. I just don't know what else to say. Please subscribe. But also, another thing that I can ask for is if you're not following the Twitch, please go follow the Twitch. We just passed 8,700 followers on there, so we're moving our way to 10,000 very shortly. So that link will be in the description as well. And then one other little favor I can ask of you guys. I did start up a second YouTube channel where it's just all my Twitch VODs, and I'm gonna be honest, guys, you don't have to watch the videos at all. They're just my VODs from Twitch. But that being said, once we get to 1,000 subscribers on that channel, we can get to be monetized, and we can make this full-time streamer gig become a reality, and that's just another source to help me out a lot. So guys, if you want to help me with that, that link will also be in the description as well, and I would just really appreciate anybody that goes and subscribes to that channel. Again, you do not need to watch those videos, they're just my VODs, but just subscribing really helps me hit that number that I need to get, and it'll help me get there faster, sooner rather than later. But guys, that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate y'all being here until the end, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.
We this.